22. 22 is a number that we talk about in this episode. 22 is the number of soldiers that we lose every day to suicide. Chuck Wimer and I, we bring up this difficult topic in this episode. Chuck also brings up Warrior Heart, which is out of Bandera, helping veterans in this situation. We also have a hotline at the end of this episode to call or to text for veterans coming home from deployment or from war. We don't want you to feel alone. Even civilians, we don't want you to feel alone. Your friends, family, they love you. Memorial Day isn't an easy day for everyone, but we want you to have fun, be safe, enjoy it with friends and family. Bandwagon TV, we thank you so much for your support and watching us every week. We also want you to follow Chuck Wimer and his music, and go follow him on social media and check out his website, and his EP is just absolutely incredible. We hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you so much for watching.
Born in a land by the railroad track where the river soaks you through and there's no way back. You offer me your hand smoking big cigars while you're singing for your supper in a beat-up bar. And his love rides the truck stops home.
Chuck Wimer, all the way from San Antone, that's San Antonio, Texas. Join us for Bandwagon TV's Joyride. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're very excited. This is our third annual Memorial Day special. We love having veterans on, talking about what Memorial Day means to them. It's a very important weekend, so we definitely want to talk about that, but we love having veteran musicians on with us today. So, sir, Chuck, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself, your musical background, and where you're from.
Well, I'm a Texas transplanted artist. I was born in Illinois, and then I joined the Army, and we moved all over the place. Finally ended up in Texas. I was training dogs at Lackland Air Force Base when I got out of the military. And from there, we decided we're just going to stay in Texas. So we made this a home, and then my wife finally decided, hey, you should probably do something with this music thing that you've been playing around with. And the past 2 years, we've been running and gunning, just playing shows and recording songs and putting it up on the radio.
Oh, that's excellent. Before I want to talk to you about your music, because especially got an EP that's really good, and I want to talk about it, so give me a minute. We're going to get there, I promise. But before we get in, I want to talk to you just, how important to you, and you have a song that we're going to also promote called Over Here. It's a tribute. But how important Memorial Day is to you and your family?
Memorial Day is actually, it's very important to my family. A lot of the folks that like to go out and celebrate and do the barbecues, which, that's the whole point behind, us fighting and those of us that had passed away from serving our country and offering up our lives. Thankfully, I wasn't one of those. I get to celebrate the holiday instead of being the reason for the celebration. But we lost a lot of good folks and their memories, and we get to celebrate them. And we just want people to remember that it's Memorial Day is about the memorial. And, for Veterans Day, we can celebrate the veterans.
In terms of your music, how important music was, and I'm sorry, did you enlist into the U.S. Army?
Yeah, I was enlisted. I made it all the way up to Staff Sergeant, and that was when I got out.
Okay. And again, thank you very much for your service, but how important was music? And I know, it's a tough road, especially, and it's not only for you, it's a tough road for your family, your wife, kids involved too, but how important music was to you at that time and to where especially you are now?
Well, for me, music started with my dad. It was a way that me and my dad could connect. He and my mom, they separated when I was pretty young, and they kept the Mississippi between them, really between them. One was on the West Coast, one was on the East Coast. And there was a way for me and my dad to connect and have a bond when I'd go out to visit him. And he was a songwriter, so I started writing songs. And he played guitar, so I started playing guitar. And, and then that just carried me through everywhere I went, whether it was over in Korea or Iraq or Haiti or wherever it was I was going. I always had music. I'd always find a way to get my hands on a guitar and some paper and a pen, and I'd just write songs and play those songs. And it got me through a lot of stuff. And then I was able to share my feelings, because I don't share my feelings too well vocally and verbally. I just, when I put it down on paper and I create a song out of it, and then we end up with something that I finally get to do.
Well, I can't wait. We're going to hear in a minute after the lightning round. I really want to promote this new EP that you came out in just this year, 22, The Road Never Ends. It's a very, I like it personally. We're Texas here. We're a Texas-based show. It's very a Texas sound coming from San Antonio. You got some great songs like Dancing in the Rain. So I wanted to promote that. Before we do, sir, we got to pull over the White Lightning. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. All right, we're going to pull over the White Lightning. We're going to get into it with Chuck Wimer. Sir, before we get started here with the lightning round, what we do here is with independent musicians. We also love promoting small local businesses. Do you have a local business that you want to promote with us today?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing their hat right now. 12 Fox. It's a brewery out in Dripping Springs, Texas. And I actually had the pleasure of going out there and playing a show for them yesterday. But 12 Fox comes from the MOS, 12 Foxtrot. A couple of folks, Aaron and Joe, they met in basic training, went all over the place together, ended up in Germany, and they started tasting beers out there. And then they decided that when they got back, they were going to start making their own beer. And they got a fantastic place out there. It's great for kids. They got a nice place set out there. And the crowd's really great. They love music and they love drinking, so it's a good time.
Well, they got some good practice too in Germany. So.
Oh yeah, whatever was cheapest at the Class 6 to actually refining the palate on the German beers.
Yeah. That's some good quality drinking right there. To all those who aren't familiar with Dripping Springs, everyone definitely needs it. Austin's growing and it's getting huge. You got Fredericksburg, you got Johnson City, but Dripping Springs is another great little area with some great areas to go, spots to go and check out. So definitely, if you're not from the Texas area, definitely go check them out, and we'll plug their social media. Here with Bandwagon TV, we have a new sponsor. It's called Lombard Men. It's hair, beard, lotion, and Chuck, you're not looking at me right now, but I'm trying to grow this beard. It's becoming luscious. Okay, they're a veteran-owned, two brothers. You know, they're part of the Marines, the Marine Corps. You know, they were leaving Camp Pendleton. They needed something for their hair, and they didn't have any products, so they said, "Hey, why not? We're gonna make our own." So what they did was they created their own, the Bauman Brothers. It's lombardmen.com. And we have their hair lotion and beard products. And you'll find them on social media that's at Lombard Hair Lotion. So there you go. Go check them out. They're great. Mike and Alan, small business, veteran owned, very cool guys, and we're very proud to have them join with us with Bandwagon TV. All right, here we go, Chuck. We're about to get started with the lightning round. And so I typically ask, what was your favorite MRE? That's meals ready to eat.
Yeah. I actually like the omelet. I was the one. I guess that was the reason why I kept that thing in there. I like the omelet and the cream cheese when they would come inside that. So we trade that all the time. Everybody hated it, and I was always the one that got to have what I wanted.
I'm assuming you probably had that Tabasco sauce.
Yeah, absolutely. You had to have the Tabasco sauce.
I just know from, it's a little Tabasco sauce that's with everything. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay, I did a little bit of stalking, and we don't talk about these two musicians enough. And I'm so glad that I'm now getting a chance to mention them. So I have to ask you, Charlie Pride or Chris Ledoux? Who do you got?
Oh man, see, now you're putting me in a tough spot. Almost. My influence was Chris Ledoux. I grew up on Chris Ledoux. I didn't actually find out about Charlie Pride until much later. And I play both of them in my shows, but Chris Ledoux was, he pretty much defined the way I write songs. Between him and my dad, the way they write, that was the way I decided I wanted to write. So that's where you get the sound that I come from.
Big fans of Chris Ledoux and Charlie Pride, of course, the late, great Charlie Pride. But just glad that I saw that. I'm like, oh man, this gives us a great opportunity to mention those two gentlemen. Okay, you're now in the driver's seat of the White Lightning. You're going coast to coast, and you need a co-pilot. Musician, dead or alive, who do you got?
Oh, well, you already mentioned him. I'd bring Chris Ledoux. That guy he knew how to have a good time. Oh yeah. Yeah. He defined the new style of country music show where you got the light show and fireworks and everything. And then there was still substance to his music. I'd pick his brain coast to coast. We'd have to go from Alaska to Florida, though.
Any reason?
If I could drive from Hawaii, I'd do that, but they're just, we ain't got that kind of technology right now.
You just have to wonder. I ask these questions, and just like the amount of knowledge, but like, it's too bad, Chris Ledoux not being around with us anymore, but in terms of just picking his brain and learning, styles of writing, and I'm sure you'd probably come up with a whole full album by the time you got to Key West.
Oh, easily.
So now Chris is getting in the truck. What song are you playing for him? Are you playing one of your own? Are you playing one of his? Are you playing a random song, a deep cut?
Ooh, you know what? I think based on what I've seen of the guy, he had a pretty good sense of humor. So I'd probably be playing, there's a song, it's called The Scotsman.
Well, a Scotsman clad in kilt left the bar one evening fair.
And I'd probably have that one running in the background, or in the truck when he's getting in the truck.
Ring ding diddle little ideo, ring di diddly io. He stumbled off into the grass to sleep beside the street.
Just to see what his reaction would be.
Oh, that would be great. Well, hey, Chuck, man, this has been a lot of fun. You did great, lightning round, but now this is on you, sir. So we want to hear about this new EP. It's The Road Never Ends. It came out just this past year. Just tell us a little bit about the sound that you were looking for and some of the, in terms of the process and what's going on for the rest of the year.
With the new EP, we decided we wanted to try and touch all the different styles of music that I play and the different styles that I write. We got most of them in there. There's a song in there called Fire in Your Eyes. And the whole reason that song's in there and the whole reason the EP actually came together was because one of the places I play at out here in Texas is a lady who booked me out there. She said, I really want you to record this song. And I said, well, that's expensive. So if you pay for it, I'll record it. So she did a Kickstarter and she funded half the EP. So I was obligated to put that song on there. And then by the time we were done, with the exception of that song, I think the entire EP ended up being kind of like a love letter to my wife. It wasn't planned that way, but it ended up being that way. There's a lot more love songs on there than we planned, and it ended up working out really well.
Oh, well, it's a great EP. I'm big fans of Dancing in the Rain. You have, Whiskey, Texas, and You, Desert Rose I like. So definitely go check Chuck out. And so right here is the opportunity. Before we get into the song that we really want to hear, how do we find you? How do we listen to you?
So I'm on all the streaming sites. Anywhere you can get your free music, you can go over there and you can type in Chuck Wimer. It's Wimer. And you can listen to me on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora. If you want to go over to the Facebook page, it's Chuck Wimer Music. Same with TikTok and YouTube. You can see the videos over there. And you can also see the calendar. We have chuckwimermusic.com if you want to go and see the full calendar and see what else we're doing. Yeah, we're everywhere. Chuck Wimer or Chuck Wimer Music. One of the two is going to get you where you need to be.
Well, there you go. Definitely check out Chuck Wimer and go subscribe, YouTube, follow. Those are always important. Download. Before we let you go, there's a song that I saw on YouTube and that you actually sent to me also called Over Here. And it's a tribute. And I want you to tell us a little bit about the story behind the song before we get to hopefully hear it.
Oh, definitely. So with Over Here, I had the pleasure of deploying to Iraq and getting my brain twisted around a little bit. And I had my battle with PTSD. And after my recovery, and I use music to get through it, but I started talking to some other veterans and a lot of them are still struggling. And a lot of it has to do with they don't have that chain of command anymore. They don't have somebody telling them what to do and giving them the mission all the time. So they start to feel like they're not wanted, or they're not needed, or there's no use for them. And it's easier to check out than to continue trying to push on and be their own leader. So when I wrote the song, it wasn't intended to be a tribute. It was just intended to clear up what was going on in my head. And then we took it in and we recorded it. And from there, I've just been getting a lot of support from the veterans saying, hey, this is helping. This is helping me. This has helped, my husband or my wife or whoever it is. But the idea is just that, we have 22 veterans a day. They're still taking their lives because they're losing their fight with PTSD. And they feel like they're not wanted. They didn't feel like they were wanted when they were deploying. They didn't feel like they were wanted when they came back. And they just need to know that they're still wanted, they're still needed, and there's still a place for them. The mission continues.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. I think, you do see it on the news. I just don't think it's talked about enough. And even though we do hear about it, it's still not enough. I lived in Colorado Springs for a little bit. Fort Carson, there's a huge issue with that, but it's everywhere. And so it's not just in Colorado. So I really do appreciate you bringing that up. And I know before we started, there was just a hotline or a dedicated area that, and if you don't mind mentioning, for anybody who's having trouble, to always contact. But there's an area close to you that are helping a lot of the veterans in this situation.
Yeah, there's the Warrior Hearts down in the Bandera area, and they help with a lot of the substance abuse that starts to happen when you're trying to drown out and block out all the things that you've seen. I haven't actually been there myself, but I do know that they helped a friend of mine who's also a musician, and he can't recommend them highly enough. And matter of fact, I was sitting with David Lee the other night, and he was talking about it as well. So I definitely, if you got no other options, or if you're starting to feel like you're losing your options, I'd reach out to them. You can find them. They're on Google. You can search, or whatever your search engine is. It's Warrior's Heart, and strength through healing is the motto. They'll take care of you. Well,
we're going to plug them, and we really appreciate you bringing that up, Chuck. So thank you so much. Unfortunately, this is where we have to let you go. And, I'm just glad that you're really just around the block from us in San Antonio. But, sir, thank you so much for serving our country and giving us everything, but also just telling us your story a little bit. It goes a long way, and we appreciate your time. So unfortunately, we do have to let you go, but we're hoping that we get that song over here. Is there any way we can get that song from you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, Chuck, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Goodbye. We get on our plane, we seen you cry. Don't know if we'll be back again. Say it's hard, this place they've got us going, but we take comfort knowing you're on our side. We do our job, sometimes with heart, sometimes with guns, sometimes it's hard. Oh, but we still have our fun. When times are dark, there's still a job that needs a doing, so we push right on through until it's done. But they don't talk like we talk, need the things we do. We move through their crowds and they're unaware. We've got wars on both sides, and we keep to ourselves. Staying quiet don't mean that we don't care. It feels like we're not wanted over here. When we get home, united with our family, we're still alone, 'cause we can't share what we've been through. We hold it in. They say that we have a disorder, 'cause the media reporter can't explain. But they don't talk like we talk, need the things we do. We move through their crowds and they're unaware. We've got wars on both sides, and we keep to ourselves. Staying quiet don't mean that we don't care. Feels like we're not wanted over here. And the politicians say we'll never win, but I was proud to serve my country, and I'll do it all again. People talk like I talk, need the things I do. I move through their crowds and I'm aware. I've got wars sides that I keep to myself. I know I don't say much, but I still care. Even if I'm still not wanted over here, even if I'm still not wanted over here. Oh, I wish that I was wanted over here.
There you go. There's Chuck Wimer over here. It's a beautiful video. It's a beautiful tribute. Definitely go check him out. I'm telling you right now, his website. Go check him out on his social media. Go subscribe, go like, go comment, go follow. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And again, thank you very much for your service. We really appreciate this weekend. I know it's more on a somber note, but you know, I think if everybody's watching this, you know, the men and the women that have given their lives for us living every day and the way we live.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck. Well, hey, have a good one. We hope to see you soon. This new EP, we're very excited.
Awesome. Thanks.
And we really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to that success from that EP. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy it.
I wanna take you home.